it's fucking, it's like that. I think it's a setup. I think she's pushed to do that. Because, like, she wouldn't have the strength to piss them all off. Like all the mayors just suck up to the police all these years, and we don't get shit. And now finally we get this mayor in, who even I vote for. I would have voted for Marty Walsh if he was here, because I know how this.
That was the first mayor I voted for. The first one ever, because I grew up when Menino was mayor.
Yeah, but like, shit, what's his name? Like, so you have like, I mean, you have all the factions anyway. She'll get reelected, and you might as well, like, I mean, she should have got all the police upset, or at least the union. You know, it needed to be done anyway, and do the right thing for us, and then not lose our vote. But instead, it's like she's done wrong shit to them, got them all impossibly upset, and they're still aligned with all their like ratchety police shit, and it's like it'll be this whole thing that they do. They're fucking the big guys, the George Soros, all that type of shit, or whatever the hell it is just playing this, working.
Like the World Economic Forum? I heard people talk about that.
The big guys, the big billionaires and shit, they got a certain thing. And it's not necessarily they're just going to be bad either. They're playing some game. I don't, it's like working out a certain way. I think they might want Trump reelected. But
why would they want Trump? Well,
because I'll tell you why. Because okay, so Trump is always like he's very pro-military. And as far as being strong, and he's just don't shoot yourself in the foot. Stop doing these wars, like because we're not the biggest country in the world anymore. So stop having the wars where it's like Vietnam all over the place, like where you're fucking up and shooting yourself in the foot, right? And like you got to be strong, but he's just is like doing bullshit against Russia. And being reasonable, he wouldn't get into an entanglement in the Middle East, which is what they always want in Syria. He kept us out of Syria. Obama actually did really good stuff. That's one of the good things he did. He didn't get credit for it.
He bombed people in Syria, did he not?
Yeah, but he did, and then...
I'll bomb ya?
No.
Barack, I'll bomb ya?
He didn't really do much Syria. They tried to pull him into it, and he refused. And got... Even Trump says his, fucking bullshits about it. Like, Obama's bad that way. But he did Libya and destroyed the country. And after he did that, like, Obama's not going to fucking do Syria. They would have pulled him in and wrecked his presidency, and he wasn't going to fall for it. That's one of the good things he did. But shit. So Trump wants regular, strong military, and he was going to straighten out Europe, like make Germany pay for its NATO thing, or even get rid of NATO. What the hell do you need NATO for? He even says that, right? And so they get Trump out, and I think they might have been setting up to like get him back in. And I'll tell you why, because like you had Germany finished up their Nord Stream 2 pipeline to get all their gas from Russia. They're going to always get gas behind everyone's back, so they can just sell out anyone in Ukraine, not have any allies, and get all the Russian gas goes through Germany, and then they sell it all to France and shit, and they have their big heavy industry, and they won't stop fucking around. And then the Germany's all Trump hating, saying he's pro-Russia. They're double-siding it, right? And they're just being a piece of shit. And you have the whole left wing. They have the Green Party running it, and they're pro-war. And it's like garbage. And like you have all the guys that have their shit together, they know what they're doing. All the industry, they don't influence politics. They haven't funded the universities. You don't have real liberalism. You have this neoliberal crap. So Germany just like dropped the ball and everything. And now with this Ukraine war, Germany's the Nord Stream 2 is canceled. Germany's gone. They're down and out. They're not in power anymore. There's nothing. They're nothing anymore. Like France is more, their industry, they got to come begging around to get any gas, or they have to do a reset. Because they're into heavy industry. They have to have that gas. Germany does a big machines and machine tool. And they could be like, really, we could have a second wave where Germany just really has big industry and is doing shit for the world. But I think they made a coalition, so it's going to be the West. And maybe they'll go make peace with Russia and have the gas flowing again. Or maybe, I don't know the actual dynamics of it, but maybe it will be liquid natural gas. But the thing is, it's so damn expensive, but I don't know what all the costs are. Like, once you get it up and running, if Germany really has to take liquid natural gas, once you get some infrastructure up, it might not be as much more expensive to then do more. Like, you know, you can bring liquid natural gas to Germany, so you can bring it all over the coast of anywhere in the world, right? And then it fits with the United States Navy. So the United States Navy, they're going around the world and trying to get in like obsolete or something. You have liquid natural gas transport, but I don't know what the actual costs are once you make the leap to liquid natural gas. And if you look at liquid natural gas in Kazakhstan, which Russia almost wasn't able to put down that rebellion, that coup they had, it's all liquid natural gas for their cars. So even though they have the pipelines to actually run their transport vehicles, they have that. So that technology for liquid natural gas might be economical in the future, but it takes a big investment. So it could be like Germany has to get on this and develop their heavy industry. We're going to have to go through a lot of changes, and you'll have a new Cold War where China turns in, where it doesn't go after Taiwan right now. You know, it doesn't come a showdown. So the United States, because you can't lose Taiwan and have the American Navy. Otherwise, you might as well give the shit up, because once you don't have Taiwan, you know, but you can't tell China they'll never get it. And so it could be like, you know, the U.S. runs around with their Navy, tries to have a Cold War with Germany with liquid natural gas, and China's turned inward. They're not doing Taiwan right now, even though it's going to be later. And they're going to just build the economy with Russia and have that Road and Belt initiative. That's like Road and Belt, and it's also the fiber optics. You can't bomb it. They'll just strip the satellites out of the sky, and you'll still have fiber optics, and you can't touch those guys, you know, in the future. You know what I mean? Russia and China, if it's like that. So I think they might be setting up a new Cold War with it, and that's what this Russia shit is. Why they're fucking having that thing, and they got to put Germany down. You know, so it's going to be like the West, like, you know, with the United States military leading.
Well, what do you think about Denmark?
They're going to have a demarcation, and that's why they're so hardcore with this Ukraine war, because they got to get a hard demarcation. Everyone's bitter, and you're going to have the you know, the Ukraine government, Zelensky, and all that, and they're, you know, way down in a rump Ukraine, and then you can grow the economy there. Those guys will go crazy. You won't have.
Well, yeah, they're growing their economy with our tax dollars.
No, they don't grow it. It's just corrupt. It's like they can't. They'll never grow it. They're like just a corrupt oligarch. That's like Russia in the '90s, and the U.S. can't even do it.
But you don't think that Ukraine and Russia should work it out, like on their own?
No, I think I think it was kind of a setup to be split, like Russia for the West and Russia to split Ukraine and get Ukraine back, because that's not even natural. That's not the normal borders. And Ukraine's always been part of different empires, but that's not even normal. Like Russia would have more of that eastern part, you know, maybe going up through Odessa or not. And you'd have like a Cold War, and that's what, you know, like a good Cold War maybe, you know, with Poland.
What do you think of?
But I think then you get Trump in. Once Trump gets in, and you've got that bitter war, you have demarcation, then that's Trump. You're in Cold War with Russia, not necessarily a bad thing, because we grew up in the Cold War, and those are the best times. And I think they might be setting it up so Trump goes.
Tell the younger generation. Tell my generation. I'm in my 30s.
Yeah.
Tell us what a Cold War is, not the Cold War. What is a Cold War?
Yeah, it's like. Well, I think there's just the Cold War.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like that was.
Do you think it's more cultural? You think it's less about arms and more? You just say it's more cultural.
I don't know. It made a culture, but it's God. We used to worry about it. Like as Reagan came in, you get nuked right here, I guess. Like things like that. We used to worry about that. And it's like fucking. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess the 50s, stuff really got locked down. It is all the CIA. The CIA runs all the news, all the shit. I realized I grew up thinking the country's different than it is, but they didn't have to make it obvious. It's all like that's kind of an open-ended question. Ask me more direct.
Do you think that with the issues that Boston Public Schools is having now, that a state Boston Public Schools being under state receivership would be positive, or would it be something negative? Okay,
so I don't have the details on that.
Here, I'm going to try to find your article.
That would be I would expect that's very, very positive. And because even if I knew when I'm explaining it, I might just start talking. It's details, because usually, people think, okay, you can have a grand unified theory of something, right?
Yeah.
And that's what works. but it's always details first, right? It's always like that, and then you can get a theory. Because like you see all the people around, and where do they go? You can have a sociological theory of why there's less people, but really it's individuals, and if you're okay, so the state, for being good or not, it's probably tremendously great. It probably is, even though I've had way better experience with certain things in the state.
So
and it ought to be the state. It's dirty. They don't say it. They got rape, corruption. They got the Me Too, the mother of all Me Too's, like bottled up in there. Like, and then they don't. And I think that holds it up. I don't think it's just what they say. I think you got, and it's like they work blackmail and just trade stuff off. I think it's jammed up with stuff. That's part of it. And then right now you have, it'll be so great if it's state, if they could ever pop it so it's not like city limits, right? Because like, if you get like Brockton and Boston's public schools. I have this like this thing for a t-shirt, Annex Brockton. Like all these, like the poor people, some of the black folks go to Brockton, have to move out. And it's like annexed, like join Boston with Brockton. To have a big city instead of like you're in one jurisdiction. You go to Boston Public Schools and.
Do you want to see like changes on the residency requirements?
Yeah.
I mean, I saw
because this Boston's getting gentrified. They're throwing all the poor people out, and they've already had racist segregated schools. Like this is neighborhood schools, and so like I was against charter schools, of course. Like I didn't like them, shitheads. But then Marty Walsh was against them when he was running his first thing, and he got endorsed by the teachers union here and the National Teachers Union, and part of that is like being against the charters. And he's like really into it, I imagine, like really in. But then we lost that. The charter schools beat us in the way they did. It's not even about like I go to a meeting in Tito Jackson and all the parents are there. This charter school's suspended my kindergartner like fucking 3 times or 6 times. It's like if I say it, it'll like sound like it's insane shit.
Yeah.
They're kindergartner. And then charter school guys after the meeting wanting people to come up and you can say sorry, or they're wacko. Because they just fucking throw people out that way. That way you can pressure people out and do shit. But even with that, you have all the parents there. All the ghetto parents have all this t-shirt that says charter school, something like that. And I've went to meetings before that where it's like they're doing that with a t-shirt. And then I asked one lady, and she's not in the charter school, she hopes to be. She wants to expand it so she can be. So they organize the grassroots because all our meetings closed down. Like our BPON. Oh wait, was it BPON? Yeah, you ever see our BPON like 10 years ago? Boston's Parents Organizing Network. I used to think it was kind of crap, but I only went to the second last meeting, and I feel bad now. I didn't.
I'm still listening.
Keep going. Because their structure was such that it was like straight up in your face, like obvious. Like you have a parent on the board or something like that, and a person from the donors of the class. So a company that donates is a board member, and they partner with a parent. And it sounds like, there's people pay. And it sounds like so I always had a prejudice about it and didn't go. But I finally went to a certain meeting, and they were cool. And Carmen,
so I wanted to, sorry, not to interrupt. Yeah. I just want to get specifically to because I did not know that from the Dig Boston article that was your family, and so and forgive me because when I was sitting over there, I went to CVS to get a snack or some snacks plural, and a woman gave me an edible. So I'm trying to do my best, like stoner journalism. But so you said that, I didn't even know this. I didn't know that Malcolm Flynn had any children.
Okay, so and I'm 90% sure because like what I do for that is I looked it up on the internet. There's the guy with that name, something Flynn, and it's out in the suburb, and there's another reference. Oh, Malcolm, I'm so sorry for your son that passed away, and the people that we know from the school. So that's how I know. So I'm 95%.
You had a hunch. You had a theory.
Actually, no, beyond it. Like I've got it. We did a lot of research. It's the name. It looks like it matches up in the right places, and it's more matches. And then one people that we know from Latin school that we know their name, and they're on the, you know, kind of the, like on something where they're talking to Flynn. We know it's Malcolm Flynn, and they, you know, on some little like thing they're writing, they say, "Oh, I'm so sorry about your son." That's what it is, his son. But I'm just saying, like, you know, you got to go verify some more. You know, just one piece of due diligence, but like it's like one of those 90%.
Yeah.
I'm sure. God, Jesus Christ, it's horrible too. And then that's why I get so bad at it. It's like like that.
So
like
what
that.
you're saying is like, so just to recap from my stoner recollection, that
what time is it exactly? Do you see?
Let me check. 7:52.
Okay.
So his Malcolm Flynn's son.
Yeah.
He was a teacher
At some school, and did a 14-year-old.
You said he what?
Did them.
Oh, okay. So
like arrested for that, and that was in June-ish, around late June of 2014. That's when I was complaining about the rapes at school. So it's, oh Jesus, I think I made another complaint after that. So Flynn's having to deal with that, and he probably knows his son's under investigation, and it's like he's having to deal with that. And he's the guy who's like gets on the email list and says, "Hey, you know, Ken's crazy." That's being like close, you know, like that, and not listening to my shit. They were dysfunctional, and Tata was dysfunctional. Lynn Monique, she'd be in her room, and wouldn't come out, like I would say, at the school. Like, it was dysfunctional. And then so that was in June of 2014.
So that was before the Black at BLS video was posted?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because mine, like, yeah, that was like a couple years later, like,
Yeah, it was 2016, I remember.
Yeah. Oh God, the Black BLS too. Like, I'm like.
And did you heard about that second federal investigation they had?
No, what was the second one?
I think it was a former Latin school student was putting recording devices in the bathroom.
Oh, that was an investigation. That wasn't federal investigation.
It was federal, yeah, because I read it on the Department of Justice, the press release.
How did they get like? Oh, I never knew that.
Somebody,
I knew he got arrested
a guy who went in, put recording devices in the boys' bathrooms, and he apparently done it at a bunch of colleges all around, like Bunker Hill, MIT. And
he studies
Wentworth.
criminal justice. That's his major.
Really?
The dude. Well, I think I heard that. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Which is a good major for that.
Like, where were these guys when they were blocking the buses?
Yeah. So that got to be a federal investigation too.
It was two. I mean, that the public know about.
I never. They
were recording underage students.
How do you know that's a federal investigation?
Because I read it on the Department of Justice.gov website. I'm trying.
Yeah,
if
man.
my phone.
You didn't fucking tell me. And then.
Because you're not on Twitter. You have to be active on Twitter to know these kind of things. Right. You follow the District of Massachusetts.
I quit before I get my feelings hurt. Because if I'm gonna get because you know how like
they have a bunch of settings now. You can.
People. You can close. I mean like the opposite. I mean like I get like banned or demoted. Oh, I gotta get my feelings hurt like that. I gotta be like the man, you know. I can't be like.
I mean, it's just
so
where
a
lot of information is.
You know, I thought I could get banned or these people.
I mean,
or something.
It's just
even though Twitter was always good to me and shit.
You know, things are changing.
Yeah. Oh shit, man. It's like yeah. Oh, so that was a federal thing because I could have those fuckers, man.
All right, wait, hold on.